Here's to filming in public. Very comfortable with it, love it, not awkward at all.
Want to hear some of that techno music?
What's up, fam and cheese? It's good to see y'all again. I feel like it's been a while, and I am excited about today's video topic. This will be a video made in continuation with the last one I made in the series, part 1, where I built a prayer fort. If you haven't seen that one, I'd recommend go check that one out before watching this one, or break the rules. It doesn't really matter. You can watch them out of order. From the fort, we're going into public. But stillness is still the topic. First of all, I'd like to thank J&B Coffee for letting me film outside here. Very generous, and I am very appreciative of it. I hope I can say their name. I might have to blot that part out. We'll see. So let me explain my logic, one, for making this video, but mostly for having walked this path in the first place. Well, for one, we know that stillness and prayer and spirituality, they're not confined to closed doors. As a matter of fact, as followers of Jesus, we're challenged, we're called to not keep it behind closed doors, to not act two different ways in two different places. This video comes from a deep-seated belief in me that one of God's desires for us is a stillness of heart, no matter where you're at, a peace in your heart, no matter what is happening externally. And so what's the best way to go about attaining this? Well, you got to practice it. This is a video about practice, and I'm going to be going over some of the things that I've gone through, I've learned along this journey to become more comfortable being still in public. First thing I'd recommend is to find you a place that you wouldn't consider still. It doesn't have to be a coffee shop, but it certainly can be. Somewhere where you can be still, but that is not inherently a still place, if that makes sense. And right off the bat, I'll say you have to prioritize this. You have to clear your schedule for it. You have to make it a priority to you. Because at the end of the day, if you don't do it, who's going to do it for you? When I started to get down to it, one of the things I started noticing is that, man, I clear an hour out of my schedule so easily for other things, and yet when it comes to this, I'm like, I don't know if that's the most productive thing I can do with my time. And that's where I want to dispel the first myth of this exercise. There is no unproductive time spent in stillness. Even if you don't get what you wanted, you made it a priority, and that's important. That's important to God, and it should be important to you too. And I guarantee you will see the product of this as a positive. Even if you don't see it in the moment, you'll see it later on. And that's a guarantee, or your money back. I shouldn't say that because a lot of times when I go out, I actually do spend money, so that's maybe not the best promise, but it's worth it because I do guarantee it. So now that we've gone through finding a place and clearing your schedule, two very important things, I think two more important things involve these. Namely, I would put your phone on airplane, and I would keep a notepad and a writing utensil of your choice beside you. This eliminates any other concerns you might have, right? Because you're prioritizing it, you know that you're not going to get any contact via your phone, which that should be something that I hope automatically lifts a weight off of your shoulder, the fact that you are one-track minded, nothing's going to distract me. The notepad and the writing utensil, on the other hand, is for those things that will inevitably pop up in your mind that you want to remember for one reason or another. The important thing for the notepad for me is that I can use that to write down important things that I hear and discern afterwards if I was hearing the voice of God or my own head. There have been some very important things that I've heard over the last year and a half that have meant the world to me that I've kept in this notepad. Well, not this notepad, I've been through one now, but you get the point. So after all of those things considered, the main thing I can say, get as still as possible. As opposed to the prayer fort, I would actually recommend leaving your eyes open for the duration because you're practicing that stillness in an unstill place. And so I would take notice and note of the external things as well as the internal things that are welling up. I want you to try to clear your head as much as possible and then leave the questioning and all the observation and everything like that for afterwards. I would put a timer on your phone for about half an hour, however much time you want or have or need. The first question I would ask every time afterwards is, what did I notice myself feeling externally or internally? I would start there and I would unpack it and really, go into depth. This is you writing your story in a sense. And you can follow that up with any assortment of other questions like, did I hear God speak to me in a new way today? What were some things I noticed externally and how did they affect me? I remember personally one of the most important things that I ever uncovered as I was spending stillness in public. I noticed that whenever a person would come across my view, my leg would start to twitch. And after a few times of that, a recurring theme, I heard a voice externally say to me, "Did you notice that?" To which I responded, "Yeah, I noticed." And again, the voice narrowed down, "Would you like to be free of that?" And I've been on a journey, on a trajectory over the course of this last year and a half, 2 years now, of God freeing me from social anxiety. Now, of course, that's just my story, but I have come a long way since then. This is important and productive work, but it's important to God. The last thing I'll leave you with is the idea that if this is a relationship and not just religion, then what would it mean if I have a person sitting across the table from me and I'm just talking at them the whole time? I'm not going to pick up on a whole lot, and I'm not going to get the fullness of that relationship. It was a while back now, but there was a person that had said to me, "I think you're just hearing from God because that's the season you're in." And let me dispel that one for you real quick. His heart is to talk to you. And if you will clear up time for him, I'm not going to guarantee that he's just going to come voice from the clouds every time at you, but you will hear the voice of God if you clear up space for him to talk. That is a fact. He loves you, and he loves you enough that he wants to talk to you consistently. So no matter whatever lens you look at this exercise through, I would say it's an important one, and I am more than glad to share it with you today. So in the comments, I really want to know if you got anything from this video, but two, if you've tried this yourself before, or if you have your own experiences, I'd love to hear them. And lastly, if this is your first time here, I'd love if you subscribed and stuck around, but I'm just glad to have you here. Leave me a like, leave me a dislike, either one. But until next time, I will see you in the next video. Peace. So this is a video about practice, some of the routes that I've been in getting to a place where I am much more comfortable. So this is a video about practice. A lot of people in and out here. That was kind of like a perfect little love story in that window image right there. Cinematic excellence right there.